sorry. Robots at Midnight. Dave, what do you think about this game right off the bat?
Right off the bat, I think that it looks visually very cool.
Okay. Roll the trailer.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll the trailer.
Boom. Right there. Okay.
Well, I'm curious to know your thoughts about this game.
I think you're going to be surprised on how I feel about this game, to be honest.
So, guys, if you're just listening on Spotify, what we're looking at right now is I want to say this is set in like a 1980s is kind of the vibe I was getting on it, right? But it's a weird 1980s because it's like 1980 that's like been inhabited by robots.
Yeah, they call it a 1980s cassette future world.
So basically you're going to see elements of future stuff, but also like an 80s setting.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like one of those things like, this is what the future they thought it was going to be from the 80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that's what was confusing to me. But what we're looking at is probably something that I would be super excited about because we're seeing some very cool types of gameplay mechanics and some very cool like super big boss fights and stuff like that. I will say that this game 1000% reminds me of Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
I was right there with you.
Yeah.
And you liked that game, didn't you?
I did like the game. Yeah. I mean, Kenna Bridge of Spirits was a really, really good game. And this reminds me of the exact same thing. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, basically, the Kenna Bridge of Spirits was dubbed like Disney's Dark Souls, where it's it was Dark Souls mechanics, but with a Pixar vibe.
Right.
And I think this is going to be the exact same thing.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I was going to go with it as well. So, but to kind of get started, it's Robots at Midnight, and it was announced during the Global Golden Joystick Awards, and Golden Joystick Awards, made by Finish Line Games, which is a Canadian game developer, an indie. Other games that they've made is Scully, Maze, and Cell Damage HD, which is a vehicle fighting game, so like a combat vehicle game. So that's kind of interesting. So this is their first action RPG. It's going to be a narrative-driven 1980s cassette future world, Souls-like you said. It's going to have elements like this, the stamina meter, strategic. Then they promise a strategic skill-based combat. So what do you think they mean by that?
Dark Souls.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I was going with that. The lore, or like what essentially is, it's you're playing as Zoe, who wakes up in a completely new world, which is Yob. And Yob was once a luxury destination taken over by robots, and some of those robots are friends and others are enemies. Overall, what do you said? It looks cool to you. It reminds you of Kenna. Is this one that you're actually excited about, or you Kenna was like a one and done for you, and you're like, I don't know about this one?
I will say I played Kenna, and then I never touched it again, which is weird for me because with Souls-likes, there's always a lot of replay value, and for just whatever reason, I had a good time with Kenna, but I didn't have a good enough time to go back to it and replay it. And I feel like this is probably going to be the same thing for me. The mechanics look exactly like what I want in a game. It does look like it's going to be super fun. It does look like it's also going to be lacking a little bit on the story front. So I don't know how easily it's going to be to get into this game, like really immerse yourself in the game. I feel like this might just be an experience that's like a one and done, like, okay,
Gotcha.
played it, it was good, it wasn't great, but whatever, it was okay.
I can see where you're coming from. Like it seems like a very light-hearted, like Souls, like you play it once, you enjoy it, but it doesn't bring you back into it. I think that might be part of like the setting that they have it in, because like the 1980s, like I don't want to, nobody's interested in going back in time, if that makes sense. And I don't want, like, I feel like people, I mean, I say that, but like in terms of like games like this, I feel like people are looking for something new, I guess. I don't know.
I
I don't know.
mean,
I don't know where I was going with that.
I'm confused on the setting as a whole.
Yeah.
Because it's 1980s, but it's 1980s futuristic. So like,
Yeah. So
what does that even mean?
yeah,
Like,
that's it's a big question, I guess. But
yeah. I
I
mean,
think
what does
visually,
that even mean? It's like a
yeah,
different version of the 1980s, where it's like the 1980s has become more futuristic than what we as a civilization are used to the actual 1980s.
yeah,
Like
you
what?
went, yeah, alternate timeline.
Yeah, like what does that even mean? Like the 1980s in this universe is like more advanced than our 1980s, but it's
Yeah,
like, oh, we still love we still love pop music and wearing
yeah,
wearing jean jackets, but like we just have robots. It's like
yeah.
what are you talking about?
Right. So I can see that. It's confusing on where they're trying to go with it, like story wise and just setting wise. But visually, like you said, it looks really cool. And honestly, the mechanics of the game actually seem pretty like fluid. The way that like the boss fights look, and I think the boss battles, like the big robot, I thought it was cool design.
You I love me some big ass boss
Yeah.
battles like that.
Yeah.
Like I wanna I wanna be able to go into, I'm walking down the path in this woods and see like a big open space, and I'm like, we're in a boss arena. This is a boss arena,
Yep.
and then like some big thing jumps down, and you're like, let's go. Like I love that. So I think we're gonna get that from the game. And like I said, I don't want to crap on it too hard. I mean, I think it's going to be a fun experience. I'm definitely going to play
Yep.
it. It's definitely a game that
Right.
I'm going to play because I did enjoy Kenna.
Yeah.
I just think that it's going to be a little bit lacking in certain aspects, namely story. I don't
Mhm.
understand. They give us no like hints of what the story is actually about. Do you know anything about the story?
Not really, aside from what I said with that she wakes up in a new world and
Yeah,
she's trying to figure out. Basically, she wakes up in a new world. It sounds like she's trying to figure out what's going on and maybe how to get back home. I'm
yeah,
guessing that's kind of gonna be the story. So kind of like some like typical, you know what I mean? But like I think this is an indie game, so it's not gonna be probably as much story as like a Kenna or like a big developer. Or was Kenna a big developer too, or
I forget.
medium size?
He
I don't
has a
know.
more medium sized. I forget who
Okay,
did Kenna. But yeah, I
yeah,
mean
I don't remember.
Kenna was a very it was a very elaborate story. I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't a very, kind of one dimensional kind of thing. And I feel like
Mhm.
I just wish they gave us more. So like maybe as more trailers come out or more information comes out
Mhm.
about this game, like we'll start to have this story unfold a little bit better for us. But
Right.
as of right now, I can't really find anything. I can't find
Yeah.
anything. And like the trailer gives you no direction. I mean, the Steam page description gives you no direction of what this game is actually about. And I just wish they gave us a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with you, and this is going to come with. We'll probably have to revisit it as it gets closer and make a really like more of an in-depth description of what it is, taking a look at the gameplay and things like that. But overall, I just wanted to bring this one up because I was like, oh, this looks like a game that Dave would like,
Yeah.
and honestly, it has me interested just because it seems lighthearted and it makes me want to go try to play Kenna because it looks fun. You know what
You've
I
never
mean? Like
played
it's
Kenna?
no, it's a Souls like Dave. What do you expect? I don't
Dude,
play those.
you should it's
Okay.
Disney's soul like, all right.
All right, you'll have to send it to me. You have it
Yeah.
on the PlayStation?
Yeah, no, you can borrow it. Sure. Let's go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Send it
Yeah.
to me.
You should check it. Yeah, you should definitely check out Kenna. It's a sick
Gotcha.
game.